Hi guys, and welcome on this first video of 2025. I'm here today with a book wrap-up for you because I've been reading a lot of books and I haven't talked about a single one of them, so this is me trying to convince you to read some of these books or not, depending on what I thought about them. I'm gonna start with my most recent reads, and then we're gonna go back in time in 2024 so I can tell you about a few of these books that I read in 2024 and that I haven't talked about yet. Without further ado, let's just get into it. I have read maybe 3 or 4 books from my winter TBR so far. So my most recent read would be The Bear and Nightingale. This is book 1 of the Winter Night trilogy. I am currently reading book 2 of the Winter Night trilogy. I'd say I'm like halfway through the book. These books are not at all what I expected from them. It follows one main character who can see Russian folklore. I don't understand the need for an entire trilogy because the ending of book 1 was perfectly satisfying to me. There were no cliffhangers, no plot twists. Honestly, once you read book 1, I don't think there's a need to keep reading. I'm gonna keep on reading because it's on my TBR and I want to see if maybe it gets better. But I really don't know what to think about these books. I like them because I really find myself liking Russian folklore and Russian beliefs and stuff, but I'm not sure I like where the story is going. I would recommend them to people who like fantasy and also fairy tale-ish kind of vibes, but they're definitely not my cup of tea. Then, not long before the new year, because I just felt like it, I read The Christmas Pig by J.K. Rowling. I've had this book with me forever. I went into this with no expectations at all, or if anything, with the expectation that I would be disappointed. You follow this little boy and his pig plushie, and he is absolutely in love with his pig plushie. He's had it forever. And one night he's gonna lose the pig plushie and it's like a big war going on at home because it's his plushie, he lost it, he doesn't know where he went. So he gets another pig plushie as a replacement, but obviously it's not the same thing. But on Christmas Eve, that new pig comes to life along with every other thing in his room. And that pig says that he knows how to get his old pig and that he just went into the land of the lost. So the two are going to go on a journey together to find the lost pig in the land of the lost, where every single lost thing goes. It all made sense, you know. Even when I was trying to find something that didn't make sense, even when I was trying to find a loop, I didn't, because there wasn't any. That's the talent of J.K. Rowling. And I kind of want to read the Ichabog now, even though I don't have it and I will not buy it for the time being. But like, if this book was so great, I feel like the Ichabog could be a great read as well. I would have loved to read this story when I was a child myself. I feel like this would have been like my favorite book as a kid. I truly loved this book and I was not expecting it to be this good. Then back in maybe November, I read The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I expected much more from this book than what I got because it's like highly hyped, but I found it to be really predictable. So maybe that's the reason why I didn't enjoy it as much, but basically it's the story of this social caseworker who is sent to a very special orphanage with magical children. His job is to give a report to his superiors so they can know whether these children are too dangerous or no. The writing style really made me laugh. He is definitely a great storyteller, but I was not a big fan of the story. I don't know if I should give ratings to the books, because if I did, this would be like a 3.5 star and The Christmas Pig would be maybe 4.5 stars. And the Winter Night trilogy, I can't tell you right now because I haven't read the last book yet, but I feel like the Winter Night trilogy is gonna be a 2-star rating for me. Moving on, I read by Annet Schaap. I don't have the English version of it because I read it in French, but I read Lampie and the Children of the Sea. I believe that's what it's called in English. And I had a great time. It's the story of this girl who lives alone with her father, and her dad is a lighthouse keeper, but her dad is a drunkard, so she does all the job for him. And one night she forget to light up the lighthouse, and the dad gets really mad. Town people are gonna discover that she's actually been doing the job of her father, and they decide to send her to a very scary place that she has heard a lot of stories about, and where she's gonna discover friendship and a lot of other stuff about the sea. I thought it was such a cute little story. You also have some illustrations in the book that the author drew herself. It's a middle grade. I feel like I would have loved reading this book as a kid. It was on my winter TBR, so I'm glad that I read it. It was one of the first books from my winter TBR that I read, and I had a great time. Then I read Reckless Girls by, I don't remember her name because I don't have the book with me, but I read it in French because I borrowed that book from the library, and I absolutely loved it. You follow those 12 sisters through the grief of losing their mother, and also through the madness of their dad, who decides that they cannot do anything they used to do because he's too scared of losing them, and they end up like locked up in a room, and then they're gonna discover a secret doorway that's gonna lead to a secret ballroom where they're gonna be dancing every single night. They are all very smart, very witty, and I love that about them. Apparently it's a Grimm's fairy tale retelling. I've never read the original story though. I had many good laughs reading this book, and it was just a pleasure to read it. This is what I've been reading. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try and do more reading wrap-ups because I ought to, and it helps me with my English, like my oral speaking English. Bye!